Snowboarding began with the Brunswick Snurfer, invented in the 60s by W.L. Poppin. Snurfing was exciting, but there wasn't enough control to execute a good bottom turn or cut back. And pulling on that cord made it more like water skiing than surfing. In the early 70s, Dmitry Milovich, one of the first true snow surfers, developed the winter stick. Dmitry's board enabled him to make true surf moves, but only in 12 inches plus of fresh powder.
My name's Ron McCoy, and I just am currently an employee at Golden State Cycle Motorcycle Shop, and that's it. I started snowboarding when I lived in Colorado in 1986. I was snowboarding at Ski Cooper, a small 2 chairlift ski mountain. When I was living out there, I had called Burton, I think it was Paul Alden, and I just said, hey, I have some connections at Mammoth, and I think we can get this allowed at the ski area up there. And so he set it up so that I could take a snowboard on my Christmas break home to ride at Mammoth and show them that snowboarders could coexist with skiers and ride the same terrain. So they allowed me to ride chair 1. They watched me from liftoffs, which was right there on the sun deck, come down the hill. And so the risk manager, Pam Rake, had said, snowboarding will never be allowed on Mammoth. My answer was just that never's a long time. And then we went to June and talked to June. Fortunately, my aunt was the mountain manager there. Took one run there and she said, absolutely, you guys can snowboard over here at June.
Back when I led snowboarding in June, it was Candy McCoy was running that, and of course it's the whole Dave McCoy era and all. And so Candy had management at June, and she had free reign to run it as she saw fit, and it was just really great to be over there and part of what was the trendy new sport.
It was really a very interesting time. Like anything new, there were a lot of questions, there was a lot of debate, controversy, excitement. At that time, we had opened it at June, which was a bit of a marketing thing also for June. It was to draw attention to June, get people to go there, not here. And I think that was a very smart move because June today still has such a great reputation for it.
I remember coming up here, I think it was when I was a freshman in college, right when June Mountain opened to snowboarding. And I'd come up here, and what I would usually do is ski Mammoth Mountain with my friends for the first half of the day, and then I'd drive over to June Mountain and catch the last couple hours over there and snowboard over there. I would come up on a weekend, I would get 2 days of snowboarding in, and it was always special when you just met anybody else who snowboarded. So, and then you'd ride a couple runs together or whatever. That's how it was.
And so they did that for 2 years at June Mountain. And then when June would close, we would go to Squaw. We would drive up to Squaw and snowboard there. And I think my grandpa was kind of like, well, if they're driving, and we had other friends from the area that we'd run up there. If they're going to Squaw for this, then we may as well allow them to ride here, I think. I'm not exactly sure, but so then at the end of April, they said, okay, well, we'll let the snowboarders ride from May to the end of the season.
But it became really, really clear to me that we needed to be open to snowboarding in 88, 89.
Then really quickly, the next year, you could snowboard at Mammoth, and lousy snow made it for better snowboarding learning than it was skiing.
Oh yeah, I was so excited to ride Mammoth. Mammoth has always been my favorite place to either ski or snowboard. I learned to ski here in the early 70s, and yeah, this place is the ultimate. I mean, I'm living where I want to live. I wouldn't want to be any place else. And the amount of terrain that there is on Mammoth it's the best that it gets in the United States.
It was such a fun time because snowboarding brought in, literally we had rules that said when we did a brochure of a skier, if the tips of the ski were further off the snow than the tails, then we couldn't use it. Or if they were this far off the snow, we couldn't use it. It was, you know, because liability was such a big issue. And so snowboarding really helped shake that up. And June really helped that. And, you know, it didn't hurt that the person who ran June was the owner of the company's daughter, because she, you know, had a little more sway maybe than someone pushing against a battle of a more traditional operation. But all of a sudden we're building features and letting people jump and letting people do things that we had been saying no, no, no to. And then we started doing it more naturally and skiing again. And so it was the OP Pro and many of the events they did over there in those years where they were crazy for that time. Today you would watch them and they would seem very tame, but for that time they were off the wall crazy. But they helped. Maybe that's the best answer to how did snowboarding change skiing, is it really made skiing free again. It made resorts be able to go back to having features and building things and not watching a skier just jump off a natural mound and jump too high and say, oh, you can't jump here. And, you know, we'd really taken what is a sexy, fun, passionate sport and we'd kind of made it milquetoast, you know, because we were, again, so confined through liability and lawyers and everything else. And snowboarding just came and shook everyone up and said, whoa, wait. And we got to bring back all that really great fun, beauty, romance, and everything that winter sports are. So it brought back what it was. And I think that was, for me, it was just so wonderful to watch and see and be a part of.